Very lucky to be joined by Andy Lee now, of course, trainer at Joseph Parker. I'm going to ask you the obvious question here. How's camp been?
Good.
Oh yeah, good to know. Yeah,
best
Not
camp of
terrible.
our lives. Greatest camp ever. Greatest camp in the history of boxing.
You've obviously had him for the last couple of fights now. What kind of changes are you trying to implement in Joseph to make him kind of break through into that top tier of the world level heavyweights?
Joseph has the ability to be. Joseph has unique attributes in the heavyweight division because there are guys who are big and tall, there are guys who are smart, southpaws like Usyk, or there's guys like Joyce who are big and strong. Joe is an all-rounder. And I've been working on him to turn him into a complete fighter. Offensively, defensively, he's balanced. And the biggest thing with Joe, and I've said it's well stated, is that he will take long breaks in fights and allow his opponents to grow in confidence and momentum. So just trying to get rid of those lapses in concentration and improve his technique. He's fitter than he's ever been. So yeah, the training the fighter, it's like a horse trainer. You got to get them fit, you got to get them strong, you got to improve the technique, and then you have to be like the jockey as well as the horse trainer. You've got to guide them through a fight. So it's, and you got to talk to them and program them mentally. So there's a lot in it. But me and Joe are 3 fights into our relationship as coach and boxer, and with every day we get better and better.
What fighter came into the gym the first time you were there with him? Did you have to do a bit of a rebuilding job with his confidence as well?
I think that's grew. I don't know if he was low in confidence, but he definitely needed help with his boxing. I think he'd plateaued, and after winning the world title, then losing it to Joshua, then losing to White, and then just kind of went flat, And listen, when you achieve so much at such a young age, it's hard not to. It's hard to. Only the really special ones stay at the top like that. But he's like, Joe is financially secure. All those big fights he had, he doesn't need to do this, but he wants to do it. He's got a desire to, and he wants to show he's the best. You remember, he come from New Zealand, where there's no like history of great fighters, and he was a standout amateur from there, turned pro at a young age and fought the best from a young age and became world champion. But I think he still hasn't fulfilled his potential. I think there's a lot more to come, and I can see he's very determined more now than ever.
It's funny that you say that. He is only 30 years old. He's probably still got a couple of years until he hits his heavyweight prime.
Well, it's different for everybody, but he's really, listen, I don't know what his ceiling is, because he's reaching new levels every day, all the time. With every, Joe's very good at reviewing all of his stuff. He'll watch, we record all the sparring, even the pad sessions, and he watches it all. And I can tell him something. It's easy for me to tell him something, but for him to recognise it himself and see it, it's half my job. It's half the battle, because he recognises what I'm saying to him and where he's making mistakes, and he's working on correcting them. So it's yeah.
How excited do you think he is for this fight? The 2 Chisora fights are obviously big fights. I think box office fights in their own right, but he was expected to win those. He was absolutely expected to beat Derek Chisora. This fight, people are talking about it as a 50-50. People don't know what kind of fight it's going to be. Is he excited about the fact that it's high stakes this time?
Yeah, it is high stakes. I'm not sure if he was expected to beat Chisora. People might have had him a favour, but the first fight was very, very close, split decision. And the second fight, yeah, he looked great, spectacular, but it was still a close fight. And look at Chisora just beat Pulev, so that'll show you how good Joe's wins were. When people think Chisora's finished, he's never finished. But this is a different challenge to Chisora. It's not in terms of that Joe has to keep his concentration the same way he did with Chisora, even a lot better than he did with Chisora, but it's a different challenge because of the physical, like the stature of Joyce in terms of his height and how he fights. And I think Joe's motivated by the fact that everyone's picking Joyce to win the fight, and they got Joseph as the underdog. And as a former world champion, I think he wants to prove his class and show that he's an elite heavyweight.
Obviously not giving the game away too much, but how do you solve a problem like Joe Joyce? We've seen such a sort of relentless style from him throughout. He's been matched with very hard opponents his entire pro career. How do you stop that, the juggernaut, as everyone calls it?
I don't.
Or do you just concentrate on?
Yeah, I focus on my man, but yeah, this is a different level for Joyce. He's fought old heavyweights who are well past their prime, and has beaten them all. We can't take that away from him. He's only beaten what's put in front of him. But he's 37 years old with 14 fights. He's gone in with a younger man, 30 years old, with 30 odd fights, I think, and a proven 12-round fighter. So it should be them worrying about us and how they're going to figure us out, because we know what Joyce is nothing to figure out. He's going to walk forward and throw for shots, and he's going to be met with punches. He's got to figure out how he's going to avoid Joyce's punches, because it's easy to avoid Joyce's shots because it's just boom, 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 everything with a step. And he has to get you on the ropes. He has to hold his feet to punch, because he can't walk, he can't skip in. Joe just take the distance and punch and be clean.
Do you think Joe Joyce, it's too late for him to adapt, too late for him to change? Because he's come through obviously Team GB for so long. Like you mentioned, he's 37. Is it too late for him to change up that plan?
But does he need to change up? He's a big man, he knows what he's good at, he keeps going, he keeps fighting, and he's a hard puncher, and he wears a lot of guys down. And if Joseph Parker's not ready, he'll wear him down too. But he's been with a lot of trainers now, Adam Booth, Salas, back and forth, and sometimes you just, you know what I mean, you just accept what you're good at and make those better, instead of trying to improve the weaknesses, make the strengths better. I don't know.
I know we joked at the beginning, the obvious question, how's camp been? Yes, best camp of your life. It does seem to be an incredibly happy camp up in Morecambe. It's the best with the best. Obviously Tyson being around so much. Do you think it's made a difference to Joe's mentality, just being around not just a happy environment, a fun environment, but being with the absolute elite that Tyson is?
Yeah, and it shows Joseph what he needs to do and how. Yeah, he shows him what he needs to do to be at that level. Tyson is inspiration, not just in the gym, not just on the road and the track, but around the house, talking to him. It's constantly boxing, it's constantly mentality and programming, and we've had a great training camp. It's such a competitive environment, and we've had Martin Bacoli give Joseph some great sparring, just coming off a great win over Tony Yoka in Paris. And we've had the Ice Bear from Iceland, and we've had big Nick Campbell, who gave us great sparring as well. Nick did really well, stepped up to the plate. So we've had some really good sparring there.